Hey, it's Big V here. We're talking teams, and today we're talking all about business planning and how to start and create an effective real estate specific business plan. I'm gonna go back to my favorite, Augmandino. We're gonna do scroll number 3 today. Augmandino's greatest salesman in the world. And in the previous videos, you can hear me talk about how we got into Augmandino and how it becomes such an important part of our business and our life. But I'm gonna focus today on scroll number 3. Are you ready? I will persist until I succeed. Now we could just wrap this video up right now and call it a wrap, because if you just persist until you succeed, what else do you need to know? But Augmandino gives you some of the tools or some of the things you can do. He says, I will persist until I succeed. I was not delivered in this world in defeat, nor does failure course through my veins. I am not a sheep waiting to be prodded by my shepherd. I am a lion, and I refuse to walk and talk and sleep with the sheep. The slaughterhouse of failure is not my destiny. Oh my goodness, I love that. I will persist until I succeed. So what does that mean to you in business planning? I will persist until I succeed. For me, the first thing in persist until you succeed is understanding what it is you're persisting in. You see, for a ship bound for no harbor, no wind is favorable. And you can row and row and the winds can blow, but if you don't know where it is you're going, it doesn't really matter. You see, having a clear business plan is like having a directory, a GPS, Siri in your back pocket telling you exactly whether you're on track. And when you get off track, they help you recalculate and get back on the right path. As we talk about goals, I'm going to share with you a goal achievement system and some specific things that belong in every business plan. And if you watch this video all the way to the end, I'm going to give you a link right in the bottom here where you can download our Workman Success full-blown business plan. Not the light version, but the one we use with all our agents and all of our teams. And that's my gift to you for being here. So with your business plan, we always start with what we call a strategic plan. The strategic plan is the vision of what you want your life to look like 5 years from now. Some people have a hard time describing their life to look like 5 minutes from now, but 5 years from now, could you describe what you want your life to look like? You know, for me, I want to be able to travel with my wife. I want to be able to have my kids' college and weddings paid for. I want to have no debt. I want to be able to do the things in my life where I can make every decision because it's the right thing to do or not the right thing to do. And I don't want money to be a part of the equation. And so once you understand what you want your life to look like and you figure that out, then ask the question, what's it going to cost, or how much do I need to have in the bank in order to be able to live that lifestyle? You see, I believe in building a business plan that creates and supports a lifestyle, not building a business that becomes your lifestyle. Now think about that. Most people, they build great businesses, but they do it at the expense of the things that matter most in their life: their family, their faith, their friends, their fun, their fitness, or their food. I use fitness and food interchangeably. However you want to do that. You come up with your 5 F's, and I think you can have it all. I think that if you have balance in the 5 areas, then finances takes care of itself. But when you give up the other things that matter more in quest for finances, then you leave a life that's less fulfilled. So as we talk about persisting until we succeed, the first is to be clear as to what your goals are. Where do you want to go in life? And then each day when you get up, you build your business plan so it creates that lifestyle. So in your strategic plan, you do 5 years out, then we do a year from now. So in order to be on track for your 5-year goals, what does your life need to be looking like a year from now? And what kind of business do you have to be doing to create that lifestyle? And then I break it down into 6 months, or hey, what's 6 months from now have to look like? So 6 months from now, if I'm doing the things I should be doing, what's going on in my business that's created the lifestyle I want 6 months from now? You see, when you're that clear on your big, hairy objectives, then your daily activities become more clear in your business plan. And then when you get a challenge or a roadblock or something that comes up, you just persist until what? Until you succeed, as Augmandino says. He goes on and says, okay, now, next thing in our business plan, we've done our strategic goal. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to create 5 very specific business goals and 5 personal goals that you can accomplish this year. What are the 5 most important things that will keep you on track for your life goals 5 years from now? But let's just focus on this year. 5 personal, 5 business goals. You write the goal, and then I want you to write down why it's important to you. And then I want you to give me all of the excuses that you would tell me why they're not going to work. What are the excuses for failure you have? And then create an action plan worksheet of all of the things that you're going to do in order to make sure you can't use those as excuses for failure. The goal, the why it's important, and I don't want the superficial why, I want the deep, real, meaningful why. Then I want all of your list of activities or your excuses for failure, and then the resolve. So now we got a 5-year plan, a 12-month plan, a 6-month plan. We have 5 personal goals, 5 business goals, and that's in your business plan. And then we turn the page and we want to figure out your financials. And so you have a worksheet in part of your business plan where you put in your income goal, your average commission, the amount of money you make when you do a buyer or seller, the split that you're on, and then it calculates for you how many transactions need to happen in order to accomplish that goal. That's called the goal achievement system. The next thing that I want you to do is I want you to then create, and this is hard, 4 pillars of income. Each pillar has to be able to generate or hit 100% of your income goal. Now, this is a big ask because not a lot of people understand what that means. So let me give you an example. In the center, your first pillar should be your sphere of influence, your database, your social media, the people that know, like, and trust you. That's a pillar. If you have to make $100,000 this year or $500,000, I don't care what the number is, I want you to show me how you'll hit 100% of it by just working that one pillar called your sphere of influence, your repeat referral business and people you know. Now, I want you to create another pillar. The second pillar might be something like for sale by owners and expireds. Using a tool like RedX, you go deep into your FSBOs and expireds. How many calls do you have to make? How many conversations do you have? How many appointments do you have in order to get 100% of your $100,000 goal in that pillar? Then create a third pillar. The third pillar could be anything. It could be notices of default. It could be for rent by owners. It could be investors. It could be new construction. It could be door knock. It could be open houses. It could be geographic farming. There are literally dozens of ways to create revenue in business. However, you only get to choose 4. But in order to use one, you have to be able to break down into detail and show me how you can hit 100% of your income goal out of each one of the pillars. So what do you think happens when you have 4 pillars, you're working them aggressively, and you fall short in one, but you hit another one? You exceed your goal. And then you hit the third one, you double your goal, and you hit half of the fourth one. Now you've done 250% of your goal. I call it failing up because with each one of the goals, you don't actually know which is going to hit and which is not going to hit. And so as Ogmandino says, I will persist until I succeed. And I want you to hear the end of this. And then what I'm going to give you at the end is, now you see it, is the business plan workbook. Are you ready for the rest of the scroll? He says, I will persist until I succeed, nor will I allow yesterday's success to lull me into today's complacency, for this is the great foundation of failure. I will forget the happenings that the day is gone, whether they were good or they were bad, and I will greet the new sun with confidence that this will be the best day of my life. So long as there is breath in me, that long will I persist. For now I know that one of the greatest principles of success is, if I persist long enough, I will succeed. And I promise you, if you persist and not let failure be your end, but persistence be what's next, you will find success in each of your goals. Download the business plan, follow it, and whenever you run into problems, just make the decision today that you will persist until you succeed.